Great. Okay. So this class is the kind of theme or idea behind this class is to increase or ease digestion. And so in Ayurveda, they talk about the apana vayu, which is this downward flow of prana or breath energy that helps with elimination, right? And and that can be the physical act, right? Or that can also mean just digesting everything that we see, everything that we hear, right? Everything that comes into our bodies has to be digested in some way. So to start this class today in that theme, we're going to take a blanket, if you have one, or just a soft cushion, something like that. And if it's the blanket, maybe you roll it up into this tube. And we're going to lay it down flat on the mat. And we're going to come to lie down on our bellies to start. So you want this blanket to be like right up underneath the rib cage here. So when you first lay down on this, you may think, why is she doing this to us? Because it can be kind of uncomfortable. And when you start, you may want to be up on your forearms, kind of like a sphinx pose almost. Or if you want to go for it and just kind of explore, you can go ahead and make that pillow with your hands and lay the head down on that blanket. And so what we're doing here when we lie down on the blanket and breathe into it, pressing the belly and the organs into that blanket, we're helping to kind of physically assist in that movement of the digestive system, right? And we're also helping to cleanse the body here. Obviously, when we do this, right, when we digest something, we are moving it out of us. So when we kind of massage the organs in this assisted way with the blanket underneath the ribs, we're allowing that stuff, right, whatever it might be, physically or more subtle, to begin to move through us a little bit differently and add to and assist that process of digestion. So once you make it to this place, just notice if you are clenching, trying to take pressure off of the belly in the glutes or maybe even into the toes, and maybe you just kind of wiggle the legs out, or notice the shoulders, the jaw, the head, and the neck. And just kind of wiggle around here for a moment, just finding the spot, and then close the eyes wherever you land and start to take some deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And as you breathe here, letting those vibrations fall out of the mouth, just notice how the breath moves through you as you do this. Can you feel yourself kind of letting go into the mat? And allowing this stuff to begin to shift a little here. As we start to move things out of the belly, we allow the core and the fire in the belly, right, our power, our strength, to shine a little bit brighter as we move that stuff out of the way of those rays of light, and the ability for the strength of our core to help us in everything that we do, again, physical or more subtle. And when you feel like you can fully just release here, just return to the breath going in and out of the nose. And just continue to allow the mind to travel inward, moving through the body with the breath and becoming that witness to yourself here. And maybe you start to just notice as well when the mind starts to wander, where you feel a sensation, how the body reacts to that and holds on to it. And how do you breathe through or deal with maybe that discomfort or that tension. And just notice, let go of needing to find an answer right now. And just allow this opening, this releasing and digesting to begin to happen. And if you have one cheek turned down to the mat, maybe turn the other cheek to find some balance in the neck. And just take about 5 more deep breaths right here. And again, if the mind is wandering or racing, maybe you count your inhales and exhales. Maybe you inhale for 4, exhale for 4, or maybe more, maybe less. Wherever you are right here, we'll take one more deep breath in and out through the nose. And then just slowly begin to bring the hands up underneath the shoulders and separate your feet here, maybe mat width distance apart, maybe a little bit closer in, but we're not trying to go for a full cobra since we're not warmed up yet. But we're just going to gently pull the shoulders out of the ears, lengthening the spine, and then start to lift the torso up into this kind of assisted cobra as the blanket or the cushion is still under there. And once you make it here, just kind of rock side to side. Maybe you kind of pulse up and down. Just take a few breaths right there. Maybe you let go in the head and the neck here. Just kind of stretching out the core now. And then from here, press into your hands and remove that blanket as you send the hips further back, coming back into a child's pose. And you can bring the knees all the way wide apart here, big toes together, and just melt the heart down, the forehead down to the mat. And if you want a little more of a lift in the forehead, maybe you bring that blanket back and just let the forehead rest on the blanket. But just take a few soft belly breaths right here, letting the belly just expand and come in towards the spine. No goal in this child's pose. No goal in any of this, right? But just to give yourself time to experience and feel. And maybe you begin to kind of shift side to side, even in the hips, to begin waking up the hip flexors. Massaging the forehead as you rock on the mat or on the blanket to begin opening up that space between the eyebrows to allow you to travel in and experience yourself a little bit more from within. Take one more big breath in and out here and let that exhale fall out of your mouth this time. And then from here, just slowly begin to prop yourself up, bring the knees back underneath your hips. And if it feels okay to sit in hero's pose, just sending your hips back so that you're kneeling, then make your way there. If not, find your comfortable seat, your cross-legged position or legs extended out long. Give yourself what you need there. And once you make it there, just close the eyes. And notice the breath now traveling up and down the spine. Maybe you even bring your right hand to your belly and feel that expansion and that movement of the energy downward and out of you. Beginning to, even in stillness here, consciously Allow the breath to release anything that's keeping you from each present moment here on the mat. The next time that you inhale, let it float the arms out and up. Reach up tall. Reach up through the fingertips. Relax the shoulders. Take a few breaths right here. Notice if you are taking a big arch in the low back. See if you can pull the belly button in and up to activate the core. Feel the length of your spine. Already maybe noticing that space you made in the torso. And then the next time you exhale, just let the hands float down to heart center. Take a big breath into the heart space. And on the exhale, let that love and compassion for yourself overflow, moving all the way down the spine. Jack Kornfield said, if your compassion does not include yourself, then it's incomplete. And maybe here you set an intention for your practice. Maybe you make a commitment to allowing the breath, the body, the movement to help you digest and release anything that's going on around you or within you. The next time you inhale, let it float the arms back out and up. Reach up tall. And on the exhale, just separate the arms, bring them all the way back down. Inhale, reach up tall again. And this time when you reach up tall, we're going to catch the left wrist with the right hand and pull it up and over towards the right. And you don't have to go very far here because you want to keep the hips rounded. So whatever seat you're in, make sure you don't kind of lift up too much as you come over there to the right. Pull the belly button in and up to engage this whole area as you reach. And maybe you turn the gaze down to begin to open up in the neck here as well. Take one more big breath in and out. And then inhale back up to center. Catch the right wrist with the left hand and pull it up and over towards the left. Pull the belly button in again, lengthen, ground down in the hips, and breathe into this expansion of the rib cage on the right side now. Gaze can be down again if that feels good for the neck. And then slowly bring yourself all the way back up and separate the arms all the way back down. Once you make it here, we're going to make our way back into our tabletop position. And once you're there, just spread the fingers, spread the toes, and begin your cat-cow flow here. Inhaling as you drop the belly, lift the chest. Exhale, press the mat away and curl. And again, notice if the belly is soft when you're doing this, if it kind of pokes out when you drop the belly down. And see if you can keep that core engagement here, helping to keep you active in your center, allowing that strength to flow all the way through you, and also allowing that strength, that energy where you engage in the core to help the digestive system move anything out. And as you breathe and move in this cat-cow, if you want to integrate some additional movements, feel free to do so. Maybe a rotation of the hips. Maybe you make rotations in the head and the neck with the hips. There's no wrong way to be. Just allow yourself to move freely here. Imagine you are already fully open from within. You are a vessel for this movement, this freedom and liberation from anything that maybe is taking a little more time to digest or is holding on the inside. If you're drawing circles with the hips, maybe change the direction of that rotation to find some balance on the other side. And we'll all meet back in our neutral spine in about 4 breaths. And once you make it back there after that 4th breath, begin to walk your hands forward, melting the heart down for this puppy pose. Really stretching out the spine, opening up the chest, the shoulders, the heart, and stretching out the core as well. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Feel that breath travel in between the shoulder blades into the heart space. And sigh it out through the mouth. And then slowly begin to walk your way back in. Once you make it here, tuck the toes under and send your hips up and back for your downward facing dog. Once you're there, spread the fingers again, really root down in the base of the index finger and the thumb. Pull the shoulders back away from the ears and just let go of the head and the neck for a moment. Just shake the head yes, shake the head no. And really send the hips high here. And on your inhale, bend your knees, lift those hips up. And on the exhale, straighten or straight-ish the legs. Inhale, bend the knees, scoop the low belly back. And exhale, straighten the legs. And let go of the need for the heels to touch the ground, right? We're just kind of pumping out the hamstrings, opening up the spine. And then look between your hands when you come back to straightening the legs in your down dog. And begin to walk your feet forward until you find that forward fold. And once you make it there, separate your feet a little bit more here. Put a generous bend in the knees, spread the toes, and just let yourself kind of dangle here. Let the spine round, and maybe you bend so much that the belly, you can feel it pressing into the thighs as you inhale, and pull back in towards the spine as you exhale. And notice if maybe you're still clenching in the sides of the neck, the shoulders. And just allow the strength of your legs to hold you up here. Maybe you let another exhale fall out of the mouth. And notice if you're kind of shifting your weight more on your heels or the balls of your feet, and just see if you can really kind of root down in those 4 corners, maybe even shifting a little bit more onto the balls of your feet to take pressure off of the hip flexors. Heels stay on the ground, but just a little bit more pressure on the balls of your feet. Take 2 more deep breaths in and out right here. Exhales can be through the nose or through the mouth. And then from here, just slowly, as slow as you can, begin to roll yourself all the way up to standing. Let the head be the last thing to rise. And maybe you pause at a certain point to really feel a sensation that you're noticing on your way up. And once you make it there, just close the eyes and find your mountain pose, rooting down in the feet, reaching the fingertips down, and rising up through the crown of the head. And just breathe into the whole body now, noticing what you notice. Imagine you are opening yourself up to receive these new possibilities. And everything else is just draining out of the soles of the feet, moving down and through you. Letting the earth take it to maybe digest it a little further and return it to you as something new, as one of those possibilities. The next time you inhale, we're going to sweep the arms out and up again. And then we'll take that side stretch here again. So catch your left wrist with your right hand and pull the arm up and over towards the right. Once you're there, notice that left shoulder. See if you can relax it down. Pull the belly button in so you don't have this huge arch in the back. And keep an equal connection to the earth in both feet. And go ahead and turn your gaze down again. Really breathe into the side of the neck here. Take 2 more breaths. Notice if you can release a little more in the shoulders, making more space between the bottoms of your ears and the tops of your shoulders. And then inhale back up to center. Catch the right wrist with your left hand and pull it up and over towards the left. Keep the hips square and level again. Root down in the feet. And maybe that gaze turns down again. Take 2 more deep breaths here. And then inhale back up to center, reach up tall. Exhale, separate the arms and fold back down. Once you make it there, plant the hands down and step your left foot back into a high lunge. Once you're there, release that left knee down and maybe you scoot it a little farther back. And then untuck those back toes. Notice if your right knee is directly over your ankle and make any adjustments there to get the knee over the ankle. And then engage the core and sweep the arms up for your low lunge crescent. Breathe into this big opening in the front of the left hip. Turn the pinkies in towards each other to open up the chest and pull the belly button in and up to send the tailbone down, crown of the head north. Take another deep breath in and out right there. And then we're going to bring the arms out like airplane wings. Take a big inhale here, lengthen up through the crown, and then begin to twist towards your bent knee, opening up to the right. Notice if your right hip wants to kind of come forward when you do this. See if you can keep pulling that right hip crease back to really twist in the waist here rather than the hips. Take 1 more deep breath in and out there. And then inhale the arms all the way back out and up. Take a big breath in. And then on your exhale, just sweep the fingertips down underneath the shoulders. And the next time that you exhale, begin to walk the hands back, lifting the sole of that right foot up off of the mat. Imagine you're dragging that right heel closer to you, really pulling right hip back. Lengthen through the chest, pull the shoulders out of the ears, and just begin to tick-tock that right leg back and forth. And this will be just a little micro movement here. And breathe into the hamstrings. Notice where you're holding tension as you do this. And if you have blocks or something I want to lift up a little bit more, feel free to grab those. And then we'll pause at center and just point and flex the foot. So press the sole of the foot down to the earth and then lift the sole up. And just notice what that does to the top of the foot, the ankle. And then the next time you press the sole of the foot down on an inhale, just begin to walk yourself back into your lunge. And on your exhale, begin to straighten that front leg and bow down. And you can either lift the sole of the foot up when you straighten the leg or keep it down. And just take a flow with your breath here, maybe 2 or 3 more times. Inhaling as you come forward into your lunge and exhaling as you drop back. And then the next time you inhale forward, just pause there, tuck the back toes under, engage the core, and begin to lift yourself up into your high lunge crescent. Maybe don't fall down like I almost did. Spread the toes, come up onto the ball of that left foot here, truly, and press through the heel, and maybe even put a little bend in that back knee to lengthen the spine, adjust your core, and then maybe you can straighten the leg back out afterwards. Maybe not. I like to keep a little bit of a bend in that knee. Take a deep breath in right here. On the exhale, bring the arms out like airplane wings again. Take another deep breath in, lengthen through the crown, and then on the exhale, twist again from the waist towards your bent knee. On each exhale, pull the belly button in, pull that right hip back a little bit more, lengthen up through the crown. One more deep breath in and out here in your twist, and then reach the arms all the way back up, high lunge crescent. Take a full breath in and out right there. And then step yourself back forward into your Tadasana. Bring your hands to heart center. On an inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, separate the arms and fold. Inhale into your halfway lift, flat back. And exhale, fold down. This time we'll bend the knees, plant the hands, and step the right foot back into your high lunge. Release that back knee down. Walk the right knee back a little bit farther or left foot a little farther forward and engage the core, lifting yourself up into your low lunge crescent. Make any adjustments in your hips here, pulling that left hip back this time and breathe into the opening of the psoas, the front of the right hip. Turn the pinkies in towards each other again, opening up the chest. Maybe each exhale allows you to sink a little bit deeper into your lunge. And then we'll bring the arms back out like airplane wings. Take a deep inhale. And then on the exhale, we're going to twist towards the bent knee again, opening up. Keep pulling that right hip back, really twisting in the waist here, allowing the breath to, again, move through the torso, the digestive system, to help open it up and release anything that's ready to go. Take one more big breath in and out here, and then sweep the arms all the way back up for that low lunge. Take a couple of breaths, readjusting, and then we'll release the hands down underneath the shoulders and slowly begin to straighten out that left leg, lifting the sole of the foot up off of the mat. Pull that right hip back, bring the shoulders out of the ears, and then just start tick-tocking that leg back and forth. Again, this is a micro movement. Maybe you have a little bend in that left knee. Maybe you straighten it out. Wherever you are with this, notice if you lose a connection with your breath and just gently invite it back in. We'll pause at center with the toes up towards the sky and begin pointing and flexing the foot, so pressing the sole of the foot down and then lifting it back up again. And then the next time you press the sole of the foot down, walk forward into your lunge, lift the chest. And exhale, straighten that front leg and bow, walking yourself back. And we'll take this about 4 times here, inhaling forward and exhaling back. Notice if you've lost that connection to your core, if the belly is soft, and see if you can just gently invite that engagement in the core back in by pulling the belly button in and up. The next time you come forward into your lunge, pause there. Tuck the back toes under, lifting that back knee, engage the core, and sweep the arms up for your high lunge crescent again. Come up onto the ball of the right foot, press through the heel, and maybe you put a little bend in that back knee, maybe it's straight. Pull left hip back and take a couple of breaths right here, just adjusting, allowing the body to align itself. And then on an inhale, really reach up tall, lengthen through the crown, and then on the exhale, bring the arms back out again. Take another deep breath in, and on your exhale, open up towards your bent knee, towards the left. Keep pulling that left hip back. Keep the integrity of your lunge. Breathe into sensation. 2 more deep breaths in and out of the nose right here. And then sweep the arms all the way back up, high lunge. And take a big breath in and out. And then the next time you inhale, kick off with that back foot. Come back into your Tadasana with hands at heart center. Once you're here, take a few breaths, reconnect with you. Spread the toes. And just feel that energy moving through your body here. Opening up a little bit more with each breath and each movement. Allowing that fire in the belly, your core strength, to shine a little bit brighter as we move that stuff out that keeps us from experiencing that warmth. The next time that you inhale, sweep the arms out and up, reach up tall. Exhale, separate the arms and fold. Inhale into your halfway lift, flat back. And exhale, fold down. This time planting the hands, either step or jump back to plank. Take a full breath in and out right here. Take another inhale and exhale, lower knees, chest and chin, or chaturanga. Inhale into your up dog or your cobra, and wherever you are, whether it's up dog or cobra, just pause there for a few breaths, and maybe you kind of pulse, maybe you rock side to side, put a little bend in your elbows, breathe into the stretching, the opening of the front of the body here, the compression of the low back. Take one more big breath in and out in this back bend, wherever you are. And then exhale back to down dog. Spread the fingers, spread the toes. Notice what has shifted in your down dog here as you pull the shoulders back, melting the heart, sending the hips high, maybe in movement, maybe in stillness. And then from here, we're going to release the knees down underneath the hips, untuck the toes, and just start to walk your hands back. Now here, maybe you can walk them back a lot. And if you're sitting on your heels, maybe separate the feet just a little bit so that the bum can kind of sit between them. And then maybe you walk all the way back. Maybe you just come to right here and just kind of lift up in the chest. Let a big arch happen in the back, but still protect the low back by engaging the core. So we're lifting more in the thoracic region here. Opening up the chest. And notice if you're clenching in your quads. Can you let go a little bit in the thighs? Maybe the head comes all the way back. Maybe you keep it lifted up in line with the spine. Keep the core engaged. Unclench the glutes. Take one more big breath in and out here. And then slowly begin to walk yourself forward, coming back into a tabletop. And press the hands into the earth, round the spine, release the head and neck down. And just slowly shake the head yes, shake the head no. Keep pulling the belly button in, squeezing the organs here as you round. Inhale back to neutral. Tuck the toes under and exhale back to down dog. Take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, and down dog. And then from here, we'll inhale forward to plank again. Exhale, lower knees, chest and chin, or chaturanga. Inhale into that up dog or that cobra, and exhale back to down dog. Take another deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, and down dog. And then look between your hands and step or jump forward to the top of your mat. Once you make it there, take a couple of breaths in a forward fold. Let go of any of that excess heat, right? Continuing to release what we don't need. Embrace what is helping us to open. And then the next time you inhale, come up into your halfway lift, flat back, really lengthen the spine, engage the core. And exhale, fold down. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up, come all the way up to standing. And exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Once you make it here, We're going to find a drishti or a focal point. We're going to do a little bit of balancing. So if you want to come closer to a wall to hold on to, feel free to do that so that you can get the most out of the posture. So we'll spread the toes here and just start to kind of rock side to side and your feet maybe forward and back. Just find a connection to the earth as you gaze at that focal point. Just notice how the feet connect, where you feel it, where you don't. And imagine you're sending the breath all the way down to those points to nourish those connections, kind of planting seeds so that you can be strong in the feet, in your connection to the ground. Keep breathing here. A couple more breaths, just kind of exploring and even maybe kind of massaging the soles of the feet here. And then we'll come back to center. From here, we're going to begin to shift our weight onto the right foot. Hands can be at your hips, they can be beside you, heart center, whatever feels best to you. And when we lift, we're going to bring that knee up to where it's in line with your hips, so like a 90-degree angle, and just rotate that left ankle out. And again, if you want to come by the wall, you can hold on, right, with your left or your right hand. And then from here, we're going to take hold of the outer edge of this left knee with the right hand. Bring the left arm out beside you. And then on an exhale, we're going to begin to pull that right knee across the body for this twist in the hips. Maybe you open yourself out to the left here, finding another drishti. This won't be a huge twist, right? So focus on keeping the hips square, but you feel this opening in the outer edge of the right hip, but really twisting in the waist as you open up to the left. Maybe you keep a little bend in that right knee so that it's springy and you're not locking the knee joint. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Take one more breath right here. And then as you come back to center, gaze back at that focal point in front of you. Switch your grip, taking that left knee into the left hand to open that right arm out. And breathe right here as you do truly open up in the hip. Engage the core. Notice if you're clenching in your glutes there. Feel the full strength of the lower body. And then we'll bring both arms out if that feels good to you, or you can bring hands to hips or heart center, bringing that knee back to the 90-degree angle. And then extend that left leg out in front of you. Take a big breath in. And then exhale, just release it down, release the arms, and just shift side to side here. Separating the feet, maybe more than hip width distance. Relax the shoulders, close the eyes. Maybe an exhale falls out of the mouth. And just notice what you notice here. We'll start to make our way back to center, aligning the feet, spreading the toes, maybe shifting a few times here just to reconnect the soles of the feet to the mat. And then when you feel ready, bringing your hands wherever feels good, finding that drishti in front of you, begin to shift your weight onto the left leg, this time lifting that right leg up. And just rotate that right ankle around. Wiggle the toes, engage the core here. Tailbone is going down, crown of the head is lifting up. And then we'll take hold of the outer edge of that right knee with the left hand, open the right arm out and begin pulling that left knee across the body. Opening up the torso now towards the right. And again, focus on twisting from the hips, but breathe into this open, or twisting from the waist rather, and breathing into this opening in the outer edge of the right hip. Again, maybe you put that little bend in your left knee to keep you from locking the joint. Keep lengthening up through the crown. Take 2 more deep breaths right here. And then slowly find that drishti again in front of you. Come back to center, take the right knee in the right hand, Open up the left arm and open up that hip this side, keeping the torso forward. Keep breathing here. Feel the strength of your legs, the engagement of all the muscles in the lower half of the body. And surrendering to that strength within you, knowing that you can hold yourself up here. There is space for that strength to shine in you and through you. And then come all the way back to center. Maybe arms come out beside you, maybe hands at hips, maybe on the wall. Extend that right leg out in front of you. Big breath in. And exhale, release it down, release the arms. And just shift side to side here. Let an exhale fall out of the mouth. Notice if you're clenching in the neck or the shoulders, maybe you rotate the head around. Just feel all of that, maybe tension or anything that built up in the upper half of the body while you were fully active and engaged in the lower half, just draining out of you. Digesting whatever that is and releasing it, not holding on to the struggle. And then when you feel ready, just gently open the eyes. Bring your feet back about hip width distance apart. And on an inhale, sweep the arms back out and up. Exhale, separate the arms and fold. Inhale into your halfway lift, flat back. And exhale, fold down. Inhale, take that wide arm sweep again. Come all the way back out and up. And exhale, bring the hands back down to heart center. And so from here, we'll do one more balancing pose. And we have several options here. So we're going to stretch out the quads a little bit more in a prep for dancers pose, but you don't have to go fully into it. So we're going to shift our weight onto the right leg. And as you do this, right, begin to make those connections with the ground again. And then this time we're going to hook the left ankle behind us, so with that left hand. And you will notice when you do this, when you first grab onto it, that left knee is not in line with the right knee. It's kind of jutting forward. So when you inhale, lengthening up through the crown, right, and exhale, pulling that belly button and engaging the core, begin to try and line your knees up, really pinning the thighs together maybe. And just breathe into this, right, into this opening in the front of the left hip, the quad muscle. And if you can't make it all the way there, that's okay, right? Just come to a place where you can really feel this full length in the front of the body. And then if it feels all right to you, reach that right arm up by your ear. Find that drishti, that focal point again here. And then maybe you stay right here. Or maybe you begin to hinge forward. Try to keep that right arm by your ear as you, with a flat back, begin to lean forward, kicking into the left hand with the ankle and taking the stretch a little further. And again, maybe you put a little bend in that right knee. Take one more big breath in and out wherever you are. And then slowly begin to come back down, release the leg, release the arm, close the eyes, and just shift side to side. Allow that to work all the way through you again, moving all the way down through the soles of the feet. And then we'll open the eyes here again. Find that connection to the ground now with the left foot and begin to shift your weight there. Lifting that right foot up and catching your right ankle with the right hand. Notice what's happening here in the core, right? Do you have a big arch in the low back? Can you pull all of that in and bring that right knee in line or in line-ish with the left? And just take a few breaths right there, beginning to feel the stretch in the quads. And then reach that left arm up by your ear if that feels all right. Take a couple of breaths here, just noticing what that changed. Maybe you put that little bend in the left knee so you're springy there. And then if you'd like, you can begin to hinge forward, keeping that left arm close to the ear, kicking that right ankle into the hand. Keep the core engaged so you don't get this big arch in the low back. Take two more deep breaths wherever you are. And then slowly come all the way back up to center, release the leg, release the arm, and just shift side to side again, closing the eyes. Allowing that to work through you. From here, we'll come back to our feet about hip width distance apart. And when you're ready, on an inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, separate the arms and fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. And exhale, fold down. And this time, plant the hands and step or jump back to plank. Take two full breaths in and out in your plank pose here. Really spread the fingers, pull the shoulders back, press through the heels. Let that strengthen your core, that openness of the whole body as a vessel for these new possibilities, this release, just dancing through you. And then the next time you exhale, we're going to lower knees, chest, and chin, or chaturanga, and inhale back into that up dog or cobra. Now, wherever you are, if you're in up dog, just release the feet down. Put a little bend in the elbows again. If you're in cobra, you're already there. And just shift side to side again, opening up the front of the body. Breathe into the spine here. Take one more deep breath in and out wherever you are, and then on an exhale, just begin to lower yourself all the way down to the floor. Take a couple of belly breaths just right here. Reconnect to your breath, but keep the hands underneath the shoulders. If you feel a lot of tension or compression in the low back, again, just separate the feet more. Give yourself what you need throughout the whole practice. And then keeping the hands underneath the shoulders, pull the shoulders back, hug the elbows in towards the ribs. And on your inhale, lift up into a baby cobra. And exhale, lower down. Inhale up, baby cobra. And exhale, lower. 2 more times. Inhale up. Use the core, feel the belly press into the mat as you lift up and pull back in. Notice if you're clenching in the glutes and just let that go. Let's go 1 more time. And then just release the forehead or a cheek down. Bring the arms back behind you, and maybe you shift your hips side to side or windshield wiper the legs. And again, just letting the belly be massaged into the earth. From here, we'll release the feet back down and really lengthen through the toes here, maybe lifting the leg up one at a time and kind of pointing the toes a little bit farther back. And then arms are going to stay down beside you, and bring the palms of your hands down to the mat now, and really kind of almost like you're pulling with your fingertips down towards your heels to find a little more space in between the shoulders and the ears. And on your inhale, you're going to lift the head, chest, shoulders, and lift the legs, but keep the hands down. Take 3 deep breaths right here. Really pressing the belly into the earth, gathering up that strength from the ground and from within you, and letting it dance up and down the spine through the whole body. And the next time you exhale, just lower everything down, shift the hips again. Take a big breath in and out right there. And then from here, we're going to do that 1 more time. And this time you have the option, if you'd like, or you always have the option to do whatever you like. You can lift your hands up too when we come up into that pose. So take a deep breath in and out, preparing the body. And then let that inhale lift you up again. This time we'll take 5 deep breaths right here. Keep pulling the shoulders back. Maybe you interlace the fingers behind you to open up the chest a little more. Toes, again, can be together, right feet can be together, or they can be separated if you feel that tension in your low back. After that 5th breath, again, just slowly lower down, shift the hips, windshield wiper the legs, and take some deep breaths in and out through the nose here. And from here, we're going to come up onto our forearms, prepping for a forearm plank. And hands can either be like you're in Sphinx pose, so they're kind of just in line with your elbows coming out in front of you, or you can interlace your fingers. Tuck the toes under, take a big breath in and out, and then let that next inhale lift you up into your plank. Breathe into the full length of the body, pull the shoulders back, engage the core, close the eyes. Maybe you let go in the head and the neck. And take 10 long, deep breaths in and out through the nose here. Scan through the body. Where can you release and keep the hold? And after that 10th breath, whenever that is for you, just release the knees down, unclasp your hands. If they are clasped, walk your hands back, find your child's pose. Reach the fingertips forward, feel this opening in between the vertebrae, this release of the spine. Keep pulling the shoulders back even as you reach the fingertips forward and press the hips down. Feel the belly massaged again into the tops of your thighs, maybe. And just breathe into this opening of the back body. The expansion of the ribs with each inhale. Just imagine you are pushing everything out of you that needs to go or that you want to go on each exhale when the belly button comes in towards the spine. Take 2 more deep breaths in and out through the nose here. Really lengthening. And then from here, we'll come back up into our tabletop position, stacking the knees underneath the hips. And then walk that left hand a little bit farther forward and extend the right arm out beside you. Gaze up at that right thumb. Take a big breath in, and then on your exhale, we'll thread the needle, releasing that right shoulder down to the mat. Come up onto the finger pads of your left hand, make any adjustments with your neck here, see if you can find a little bit more of your twist, adjusting the body. And then when you feel settled here, just find a place to release that left hand, maybe out in front of you. Maybe you take a bind, wrapping it back behind you. And just take some deep breaths right here, letting go in that right shoulder. Wringing out the body even more here, opening up and cleansing. Let a big exhale fall out of the mouth here. And then slowly begin to walk that left hand back in front of your face. Prop yourself back up, reach that right arm back out. And then release back into your tabletop. And just pause here for a moment. Maybe take a cat-cow. Maybe just let that flow of energy and your twist, right, integrating the pose to happen in stillness. When you feel ready, come back to center and walk that right hand a little bit farther forward. Extend the left arm out beside you, gaze up at that left thumb. And then on an exhale, sweep that left arm through, releasing left shoulder down. Come up onto the finger pads, this time on the right hand, providing leverage and support for you to move the neck around to find that place that's comfortable. And then when you feel ready, just release that right arm in a place where it can settle. Relax the left shoulder. And just breathe into this twist on the other side, opening up that Apana Vayu for that downward flow of energy, that ability for the body to digest whatever it ingests. Notice with each exhale how maybe you can settle a little bit more and surrender into the posture. Take one more big breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then slowly walk that right hand back in towards your face. Lift yourself back up. Reach the left arm out. And then come back into your tabletop position. Once you make it there, again, maybe you take that cat-cow, maybe you rotate the hips, or maybe you stay still. Just give yourself whatever you need here. There's no wrong way to be. And then slowly begin to just come back to a neutral table and send the hips back towards your heels. And so here we're going to come into this kind of reclined hero's pose, but there are a lot of options for coming into this. So we're going to have the feet coming back behind us. And here, if it feels better to do this one at a time rather than both legs at the same time, then we can do that too. But I'll give several modifications and options. So if you sit back right here and your knees and everything are screaming bloody at you, then you can bring that folded blanket or a cushion or blocks, whatever it is that you have, up underneath your bum to kind of help give you more of a lift. That'll help take pressure off your knees. And so if that's the case, maybe you stay right here. And again, you could do this one at a time, right? You could have just one leg pulled in. Now the feet, when they're coming back behind you, you can either have the top of your foot down on the mat. That's more comfortable for my legs, but that doesn't necessarily mean that everyone's body mechanics are like that. So toes can be pointing back, or if it feels better to kind of have the foot fanning out, right? So toes kind of going perpendicular to your mat, then do that also, right? Find a place that works for you. It also might mean that the leg is out, the knee is kind of out farther, the foot is farther away from that outer edge of your hip, right? So just kind of explore that option if that's where you are. And if you are taking it one leg at a time, I will tell you when to switch legs there. If you want to take it both legs at a time, you can still give yourself a little bit of a lift. So if this feels okay, right, you can still feel it, but maybe you want to try and go back farther, but you don't want to go all the way back fully. You can stay here, right? You can use your arms to keep you up. You could come down to your forearms, right? You could take it however you want to take it, or you can come all the way down. If you want to try to come all the way down, but have options there as well, you can bring that blanket underneath your spine to give you a little bit more of a lift there. If you do decide to come all the way back and the knees come up, that's totally okay, right? Just breathe into wherever you are. So find your place out of all of those options. Just kind of explore here. Maybe you were exploring while I was talking, which is perfectly fine. And once you find that place that is right for you, whether you're reclined or whether you're sitting up, one leg at a time, whatever it is, just enjoy exactly where you are. Know that this is exactly where you're supposed to be. And that wherever you are, the strength, that fire in the belly, the openness within you for the breath to dance, for the body to release whatever it wants and needs to release, is guiding you to that place where you can experience the freedom and liberation from within. Wherever you are, just close the eyes and follow the breath up and down the body. Let the belly be soft here as you really open up in the front of the body, whether you're lying down or sitting up. And if you're taking this one leg at a time, just go ahead and switch to the other leg. Take your time finding the spot that's just right on that side, if that's where you are. Just honor any differences from one side to the other. Knowing that those external imbalances are nothing to the internal equanimity that we all have. Take about 5 more big breaths wherever you are. Maybe the exhales fall out of the mouth. Allowing those vibrations to really facilitate this downward flow, this release. And after that 5th breath, wherever you are, just slowly, as gently as you can, from either reclined or sitting up, begin to make your way out of the pose. No rush here. Maybe lifting the torso up and pausing for a moment. And then gently extending the legs out long in front of you. And just tap out your knees here. Maybe rotate the ankles around, wiggle the toes. Big breaths in and out. And then from here, we'll come to just lie down flat on your back. Once you make it there, hug the knees into your chest, bring the nose up to your knees, and just kind of rock side to side, massaging the spine. Take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, right here. Really squeeze it all in. And then keep that right knee hugged in. Extend the left leg out long. Take hold of the outer edge of your right knee with your left hand. Extend right arm out beside you. And on an exhale, just pull that right knee across the body for your twist. Notice if that right shoulder comes up off of the mat, and just make any adjustments, maybe shifting in the hips so that you can get that shoulder a little closer to the ground. Let go of any tension in the left leg, the left glutes. And imagine you are sending that tailbone south towards your heels as you pull the belly in and up on the exhales, lengthening the spine, twisting a little deeper. Take a deep breath in and out. And slowly make your way back up to center. And when you're here, just bring the arms back out beside you and bring the sole of your right foot to the inside of your left knee and just release that right knee down. So this kind of supine tree pose, right? You could bring the arms out behind you. So imagine if you were standing in your tree pose. If you feel a lot of tension in this opening of the right hip with the knee down, you can bring that blanket, a block cushion underneath the knee to give you a little bit more of a lift there. And just take a few deep breaths on this side. Breathing into the whole body now, noticing all the points connected to the earth. Noticing the rise and fall of the belly and the chest and that expansion in the torso, the openness in the core. Take one more deep breath in and out here. And then just bring the arms back down beside you, extend that right leg out long, and just take a deep breath here, connected to the earth. And then hug that left knee into the chest. Extend the left arm out beside you and take hold of the outer edge of the left knee with the right hand. And on an exhale, just begin to pull the knee across the body for your twist, stacking your hips, maybe shifting. And take some big breaths right here, letting everything soften, letting go in the glutes, that right leg, letting go in the right shoulder. And just notice the belly button pulling in towards the spine on the exhale, squeezing out, wringing out the body of anything left, keeping you from releasing, keeping you from feeling that free-flowing energy that is digesting and accepting each moment as something new instead of getting attached or holding on to anything. Take a big breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then slowly come back to center, realign the spine, and then just allow the sole of the left foot this time to come into the inside of the right thigh, letting that left knee fall open. And may the arms come back behind you again, and just imagine you're that tree, connected to the ground. Maybe you bring that cushion underneath the left knee again. Give yourself what you need. And just enjoy this opening. Take one more big breath in and out here. And then just extend everything out long. Reach through the toes, and with the arms extended back behind you, press the tops of your hands into the earth and hook your thumbs so you're kind of making this fan shape. And really press the shoulder blades down and into the earth. Feel this arch in the low back. Reach the toes, reach the fingers, and just take a couple of breaths here, fully active. Really pulling the belly button in towards the spine here. Pushing all of that out of you. And then the next time you exhale, just soften everything and release. Bring the arms down beside you. And begin to make your way into Shavasana. Let the feet fall away from each other. Knees and hips release. And just feel this expansion and rise and fall in the belly and the chest as you slowly make your way into that space of pure ease, maybe grabbing that blanket or bringing a pillow underneath your head. Maybe you even bring that hand back to the belly to really feel that lift and lower, that connection. Notice the shoulders just melting down and the heart lifting up. Feel the breath traveling through the throat all the way down and out and back up again. Let the lips separate, the eyes flicker close, and that space between the eyebrows releases, allowing you to travel fully in and soak in the sweetness of your practice. Slowly begin to come back to your breath. Take a slightly deeper inhale and slightly longer exhale. And as you keep the gaze inward, just allow the breath to dance in this openness, the space that you've made. And as the breath dances up and down the body freely, maybe it begins to invite some small movements. Maybe beginning in the fingers or the toes. And just slowly beginning to travel up the legs, up the arms, all the way through the body. Just notice the freedom of your breath to move through you as this open and new vessel for possibilities within you and allowing them to manifest outside of you. Whenever you feel ready, just start to make your way onto your right side. And slowly, with eyes still closed, begin to prop yourself back into a comfortable seat and bring your hands to heart center. Take a big breath in through the nose, fill up the heart space. Pause at the top of that breath. Allow yourself to be suspended in this openness, and then on the exhale, pull the belly button in. Feel that waterfall all the way down and out into the earth again. Fully open. And then return to your normal breath. Feel that intention grow in your heart. And move through the whole body now freely and clearly. One more big breath in and out together. It was my honor to guide you. Namaste.